Hi guys, hope you're enjoying your day. Thank you for joining me. Lewis County General Hospital, the baby ward, is closing its doors on September 24th because a majority of their employees have quit rather than getting the jab. On September 9th, Joe Biden signed an executive order requiring all federal employees to get the vaccination for the COVID. Could be an uphill battle for him. In that executive order, it requires all federal workers, contractors, and certain healthcare workers get the COVID-19 vaccine jab. The plan will require workers who are employed at hospitals, home care agencies, and other types of medical facilities that participate in the Medicare and Medicaid programs get the COVID vaccine. Evidently, the Lewis County General Hospital in Lowville, New York, about 30 employees walked off the job on Friday rather than getting the shot. So on September 15th, they're closing the maternity ward and going to look for people who are willing to get the vaccine. Of the 464 people that work there at the hospital, 165 haven't received the vaccine as of Friday, and the deadline is set for September 27th. Dozens of states are fighting this mandate. At least 6 states are requiring the healthcare workers get vaccinated or face termination. There's already a shortage of highly qualified professional workers that are quitting their jobs rather than get the jab. Walmart is going to require its CEOs that travel to other stores to get the jab, but the other people that work for Walmart, evidently they're not going to require it. Last month, Chicago Public Schools said 10% of their school bus drivers quit because they refused to get the vaccine. In Texas, some healthcare administrators fear that mandating vaccines for workers will push desperately needed employees to quit, and that was according to the Texas Tribune. In April, Houston Methodist Hospital System was among the first to implement a vaccine mandate, and the hospital lost 150 employees. They either resigned or were fired because they refused to get the jab. This mandate and employees not providing a living wage is creating a huge shortage of workers across the world, while inflation is up, according to the Epoch Times, about 8.3%. That rate evidently is the highest it's ever been for inflation since 2010. Also, according to the Epoch Times, just 4 of the largest conglomerates control the majority of the market for beef, pork, and poultry, and the data shows that these companies have been raising prices while generating record profits during the pandemic. The shortage of products is affecting everything there in the UK, along with the high price of foods and meats. They have a shortage of bottled water, and they're saying that prices are going to continue to rise all the way through 2022, next year. Soon it's going to be a day's wages for a loaf of bread. They're talking about more restrictions coming, such as in-country air flights. You're going to have to prove that you've been vaccinated before you can fly domestically. And afterwards, more likely, you won't be able to shop unless you can prove that you're vaccinated. And then, to prevent hoarding and for people to shop for those who refuse to get the jab, they're going to limit how many items you can buy at a time. So if you think you can get someone to go shopping for you and get around not getting the jab, well, they're going to put a brake on that. And they'll make prices so high that unless you are working, you're not going to be able to buy different goods. And the only way to work is to prove that you've been vaccinated. What's coming in the near future is the fact that you won't be able to buy, you won't be able to sell, you won't be able to work unless you get the jab. Which reminded me of an incident in the Ukraine. It's on Wikipedia, called Holodomor. It's where Russia created a man-made famine and millions of people starved to death. They took from the people there in the country the food they produced, and they went into their homes and took the food that they had stockpiled, that they had hoarded. Where have we heard about this before but the ghetto, where the Nazis sent the Jews? So if you don't get the jab, you risk not working, you risk not getting food for your family, your children, you risk not being able to pay your rents, not being able to travel, which made me think of the 10 stages of genocide. What are the 10 stages of genocide? Well, first they divide the people into groups of us or them. They either got the vaccination or they don't. Number 2 is to force people to identify themselves. Force you to prove that you've been vaccinated. Stage 3 is discrimination. Harassment, right? Can't work if you don't have the shot. Number 4 is dehumanization. People equated to animals, vermin, or disease. Yeah, they carry diseases. Number 5 is the government creates specific groups such as military and the police to enforce their policies. They are already doing that in many countries, I think recently in Australia. Number 6, the government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. Or they're already doing that. Mainstream media is showing all the people that have died from not getting the jab. About the COVID is basically all mainstream media even talks about nowadays. There's even talk about in the future possibly arresting these people, throwing them in jail. Yeah, relocate them, put them in camps. Well, there's talk about that coming too. Number 8 is the beginning of people being murdered, theft of property. We've already heard and seen videos there where people who have not been vaccinated have been brutalized by others. Number 9, extermination. Wholesale elimination of the group is not extermination and not murder because these people are not considered human. Yeah, they're spreading the virus. And number 10 is denial by the government that they had any involvement whatsoever. So what's going to happen next? Are we going to allow things to get worse? What can we do to prepare for this? What are your thoughts? Please put those comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.